Hey up everyone, what's going on and welcome back to York City, where if you've not watched the testimonial match for Callum Lascelles that went up yesterday on a Sunday, I know a bit of an anomaly on that front, but there was a testimonial for Callum Lascelles. We honoured the man who got us through all those leagues. Do go check that out, and if you did watch that testimonial yesterday and are ready to tune in to today's transfers, you probably are already aware of basically all of them. It's been fairly quiet, but the moves that have been made are major moves indeed. So, as always with the transfer episodes, I start with the outs, and the first out is one that you will have heard about. Pretty much all the outs you can work out from yesterday's testimonial episode. There's only been 3 major ones. Pulisic is out. He played 9 times in the entirety of last year in the league. He actually played 14 in the second half of the season that we bought him in, which is kind of odd considering. I think we brought him in mostly because Cantoro was injured at that time, and he was obviously a citizen at that point because he gained citizenship when the Brexit came through, so that was a great option, but we didn't really play him last year. Cantoro was pretty much there the entire time, didn't have any major injuries, and we could always move Godoy into that role if we needed to. It's what we're going to be doing this year, basically, because I'm not going to pretend. We've only made 1 major inbound transfer as well, and there was a second, and it was in this position. It fell through because Newcastle did one of Football Manager's top tips, / not really an exploit as such, but yeah, they demanded that they could have a replacement striker, weirdly, despite the fact the player was an inside forward on the right side, but replacement striker before they would let him come to me, and they didn't, so they kept hold of him. So yeah, they mugged me off there. I'm not pleased with my actual supporter team right now as a result, but Pulisic is gone. We've made a slight profit on him for when we brought him in, and he did a job. I mean, wage-wise, he was on about 90 grand, so that wasn't the most sensible thing. So whilst we've made technically 1.5 million profit, did we really? Did we? But for 90 grand a week and a player who wasn't really playing, and in the final year of his contract, tidy business, I think. Not the most profitable sale, as such, not the greatest outstanding sale, but it's one that just made sense, and I don't think we necessarily got robbed. Yes, I thought I'd just talk over the beginning of this one, because I'm sure there's people out here who aren't particularly happy with this. Raul Madeira, I did sort of accidentally leak that one yesterday in the testimonial match, when I talked about him in the past tense. Juventus are paying him £175,000 a week. That's basically all I can say about it. I can actually say a little bit more because, realistically, look at his career stats, guys. Last 4 years, below a 7 average. Last year, I actually praised him towards the end of the year. I didn't realise how bad he actually was overall. You know, in the first few years we had him, he was pretty decent, 7.1 for the first year in the Premier League. That one always went a little bit under the radar, I think. Second year in the Championship, he was pretty decent as well. As was the first, let's be honest. 250k basically, 50 million sold. We'll take it. And something else we'll take is £52 million for Charles Baxter. Yeah, £52 million. Not all up front, by the way. I should mention not all up front. Madeira is 50 million, all told as well. Again, not all up front. But Baxter, I'm looking at the stats. The stats look so... Attributes, sorry. I'm looking at the attributes and... Okay, he looks better now I look at the attributes, but he is actually regarded as second fiddle to Christian in our own setup, so I decided to sell him because he was also upset about that fact as well. He's gone to Tottenham, where there was an opening, because I'm pretty certain they got rid of Ronaldo at last. 52 million? One thing I'll say is, maybe hold off on getting his name on your shirt. Because, yeah... Oh no, he went to Bournemouth in the January of that year, sold to West Ham the January the following year, and then we bought him in that following summer. In the space of 2.5 seasons, he moved 3 times. 4 now. But 52 million for a player that we bought 1 year ago for less than 30. Yes? And yeah, I don't mind showing you this anymore, of course, because in terms of real-life players, Pulisic is the only name that still exists. A bunch of players gone out on loan, of course. West Ham, Ryan Bruce has gone to West Ham on loan. There's a mandatory 10 million sale in that, which is probably going to be his worth at the end of the year, so I'm fine with it. He's worth a little bit more now, but they are paying his full wages. So that kind of makes the difference, in a sense. Claudel's an interesting one. He's sort of good enough to be a squad player, but with our defensive players, I figured he's one of the only few people I don't mind at the age of 18 going out on loan and therefore ruining his homegrown club status, I think. Just because he's too good to be sat on the bench, I think, in my opinion. All the other ones that are coming through, yeah. Speaking of ones that are coming through, basically the rest of these are all youth intake poachers that are either come through from previous years because they turned 18, like Giovanni Jr. from Braga. He might be good. He's that good at 18, so yeah, that should be fun if we're there when he's developed. The rest of them, I think, pretty much all English players that have come from English setups, so I'm pretty certain I've been robbed by Roberto Aras here. We paid 3 million compensation for him. Yeah, sometimes you do get bamboozled. But yeah, I imagine you've all been staring at the £75 million we spent for Matthias Fiore. Yeah, we got 52 million from Tottenham, we then immediately gave them 75 million back. This is why. And I'm sure you're also going to be mad at me for this, because you can see where he plays, and you can see the name next to number 2. Xiaonan is one of my favourites too, so don't think I didn't take this lightly. But you can also see that. 4-star, 3-star, St. Power is regarded as 3-star. I don't really understand that one, if I'm completely honest. Although, admittedly, when you do look at it, mentally, this bit here on the bottom end of those mentals, I don't understand. Xiaonan's so much better, overall. He's actually even better physically as well. Like, technically, they're probably on par, the pair of them. Both sort of 13, 13, 10 crossing. So then we go back to Fiore, shall we? 16, 14, 17 first touch, 15 crossing. The physicals are actually technically possibly even better than Xiaonan's, and the mentals, 19 work rate. 19. Along with that 18 stamina, complete wing back. Don't understand it. Don't understand why he's only considered that for complete wing back when every single one of these, bar one, is 13 or higher. Just Flair is 10. That's it. He's even got a jumping reach of 8, which, by our standards, I will just say as well, in terms of our squad, considering the players that we've still got, which include 4 strikers, I am training a 4-3-3. I figured in terms of a 4-2-2-2, or 4-4-2 if you want to look at it that way. Did I say too many 2s in the first version of that? Yeah, I figured in terms of that, the familiarity is basically the same as playing that. So training it was a bit redundant, so a 4-3-3 is being trained. But our first match is against Leeds, so a nice Yorkshire Derby to kick things off this year. And by God, do they not enjoy them. Oh, I should just say, in terms of the Fiore deal, season preview-wise, we've been knocked down. I don't know if Man City signed anyone on deadline day, but we went directly after the Fiore sale from 6-1 to 4-1. Mourinho's gone to Arsenal, by the way. He said he's come from Roma, but he hasn't. I don't know what went on here for France manager. Like, we highlighted recently that Mourinho was France manager. Not for long. Essentially, at this point, he's just trying to do every top English club. Although, bear in mind, he's not gone to Tottenham in this because original database. What I find extra bizarre is the fact they put Courage in the Media Dream 11, despite the fact our best 2 players, according to them, are Vidarson and Azata. Whatever. What it does mean our lineup is this. They do seem to like the fact that Castillo. They do seem to like Castillo. I'm not entirely certain if he is our best one, but he will play. I did offer him out just because, well, he's not English, basically. That's the reason why. That's the only reason. He's as good, possibly better than Saxton, and obviously better than Kovalov at this point, but registration rules are a thing. So, yeah, I did offer him. The only advantage, one of the subtle advantages of the Fiore transfer, by the way, is, of course, that Xiaonan then becomes a bench player, and he can play both sides. So versatility on the bench is now off the freaking chain because we have Xiaonan who can play both sides, Courage who can play all the way along that back line, and then Teko who's a midfielder who can play in defence as well. So options everywhere. Carpentier is injured, by the way. If you didn't see the testimonial, he was injured in the friendlies before that and won't feature for a while. So it's a good job we've got 4 strikers then. It does make this left-hand side slightly problematic because obviously without Madeira and Carpentier, there isn't really anyone to step in. Part of the reason for that, of course, because there's no backup to Cantora either in that sense. Godoy can go over there. By the way, I could have sworn I was training it. Nope, I am now. Now, I would love to give you number 2 Fiore, but Saxton's already got it. Can't really give you 11. Madeira was 11 then, that confirms that. I can give you 22. There we are. That's twice the 2s. That's 2 2s. That's all you could possibly want, really. 2 2s. If you wanted 1, then have 2. I feel like I'm over-justifying that. He's playing 4-4-2. They've still got Spink, and I can barely read it because they are trying to blind me with their colours. I am very surprised they've still got Spink. He's been there Did he come through their academy? No, they poached him from Crew. Wow, they did a youth intake poach. Not gonna lie, I've poached 2 from Crew over the year. Keep an eye on Crew, by the way, on youth intake poaching. I said it before, but do it. I did mention their right back as an option to bring in, but whilst he's got potential and loves a big game, I couldn't really justify bringing in a player who was as good as Xiaonan if I didn't then get rid of Simparo, of course, as well. Obviously, Simparo is available for sale at this stage as well. I either had to improve upon him right now or decide to bring Nestor Maluso into the first team as a backup. I decided to improve because I had £180 million transfer budget at that stage. Still got 110 for January, should I need it. £110 million. This team is ridiculous. So where we go, we're the last ones to play. This is the Monday night fixture, and I don't know why I'm looking at the bottom of the table. Azata will gather this up. Oh, I think I may have undone something there, now I think about it, because Azata seems to be back in defence for throw-ins, which he shouldn't be, of course. Vidarson edge of the box. Oh, that's gone in. Someone offside in the build-up to that because it's not counted for whatever reason. Ah, it's one of these bullshit. I've done a swear, folks, but it's one of these. Yep, that's clearly. He's clearly infringing on the goalkeeper's vision, despite the fact he was basically inside the defender. I'm not happy about that one. Vidarson, anyway, on the end of this... This highlight started with the corner, actually, so... Was that the shot? Oh, there's a penalty. There's a penalty view. I thought they were about to say he's offside or something, but Seri takes this. Really? Does he normally take them? I can't remember if he normally takes them or not. I think Carpentier... Oh, he's... Yeah. No, he doesn't. Not anymore, anyway. I think Carpentier's first choice, but of course he's injured. I will review the penalty takers. Zarta doesn't quite get to that one. I'm pretty certain I swapped the set pieces over. Seri with a free kick. It's been a while since he's got one. Did he hit the post? I'm not entirely certain, but it looks like there might have been a goal line questionable thing there, but clearly didn't go across the line because otherwise it would be 1-0. Like, the game can be sometimes dumb, but it's not that dumb. Yes, obviously. I mean, if you can see it, well done. You don't need glasses, or you don't need to improve your prescription if you already have them. In terms of the first weeks of fixtures, Newcastle did kind of get their comeuppance from mugging me off with that transfer thing by conceding 2 goals in extra time and losing their match. Yeah, they conceded in the 95th minute and the 97th. They basically almost did the Lejeune against, was it Everton thing? But against them this time. Oh boy, what an ending to a match that was. And pretty much the only useful thing that Florian Lejeune has ever done, in my opinion. Fiore, coming forward. Still coming forward. Vidarson, Ramirez, out to Castillo, back inwards. I mean, Fiore's in space again, if we can get it over here. Although Castillo's pulled into pretty much exactly the same amount of space. Vidal over what I like there, though, was the fact that Fiore, on this side, just sort of held off a bit in case there was a counter. His positioning and anticipation there, I like that. Despite the fact his traitors gets forward whenever possible, I like the fact he was sort of in the right place should the ball have fallen out that side or if they'd regained possession. I don't want to say that's against the run of play, but that's against the run of play. I'm not 100% certain what happens here. 2 people try to close him down and both fail. I'm going to presume one of those was Castillo. Can I just clone Fiore and put him on the other side? Well, a long throw's failed there. Fiore will regain the ball. Cantora's been tackled, so good news. 4-3-3 might be happening sooner rather than later. Ramirez has scored, though. I want to say instant reply, but I think a few minutes have actually passed. But I will say, I don't think we're not playing particularly well. I mean, that was... Why has Cantoro just decided to stop moving? It's like he's seen a basilisk. I mean, Ramirez, great finish there. And if Ramirez has decided this year he's come to play, we might be in good shape. Of course, we missed a penalty, didn't we? Has that affected Seri? Well, it has actually affected Seri. Quite dramatically. It doesn't normally affect midfielders all that much, but I think it's mostly because they do a lot of other things that keep their rating up quite often. Gonzalez is on a 6.3 as well. What's gone on there? You didn't even take the penalty. Although you probably should have. But Arson, I mean, we decided not to do the long ball there, but that's fine because it was basically on the halfway line. Although sometimes that doesn't stop them. Castillo, Vidarson's on the edge of the box. Opening space, not quite. 55 minutes gone. I mean, we're going to have to do something about Seri, who is just collapsed as a human being. Grimes comes on, Vidarson moves over. I did contemplate Barwick there, but I just remembered he wasn't actually fully fit himself. Ramirez, he's on 88, it's not bad, but he's sort of more of a late game option. No. Third time's a charm. It's been weirdly punted out for a corner. So another corner option here. Anyone going to get on the end of that? Vidarson, straight at the goalkeeper. It is worth noting that Leeds have had 0 shots since they scored. 75 minutes gone, there's a highlight. So I've got a dilemma right now because Vidal's not actually playing that badly. He's on a 6.7. I'm actually just going to shift a little bit on their instructions. I'm just going to bring Vidal a little bit more supportive, and then Gonzalez is going to go a little bit more complete as a forward. I said they've not had a shot since their goal. We might be getting one now. I mean, if they bloody score from this. No, not quite. I'm just going to see if that changes anything. We do have it. Well, it's a free kick, so this doesn't really show anything in that regard. Well, they've got the ball. Grimes has come to meet Airoldi and just done enough to stop him from charging. So we have our defence back now, properly. Which means if they do get through it now, it's even more embarrassing. Nope, Castillo. For God's sake, can't we just get a tackle that goes to our own team? I'm fed up with that nonsense. What the? Could always left-footed, so he's going to go on the left-hand side. I might just keep Vidal on the pitch. I think the midfield in the middle is a little bit the wrong way around, but we'll sort that out shortly. I've also just realised one on the midfield is probably not the one. Yeah, okay, so that wasn't meant to be like that. I messed up the midfield 3 there. I'm not going to lie. 4-3-3. Will this do anything? Castillo's there. Grimes is in the box, doesn't get under it. Cantoro will chase it. Cantoro will actually get there first. I think number 12 there just forgot he had legs for a moment. Cantoro's gone all the way back round, and Godoy, I said he doesn't score. That's what we need from Gabriel. Something holy and majestic. Cantoro, though. Oh, I mean, that's a great ball, and Godoy's risen quite nice. I mean, the defender's facing the wrong way. I'm glad I didn't sign him now. 2-2. Can we get a late one? I could have demanded more. I probably should have demanded more. Too late now. Nicolas. Oh, I thought he was about to get intercepted. Not quite. Willian. Gomez. Vinny. Oh, get the ball, get the ball, get the ball. I said, just imagine your manager on the side just going, get the ball, get the ball, get the ball, get the ball. Oh, it might be a challenge on Godoy. I don't think they've sent him off, but for some reason this has been part of a highlight. Azarta. Wide. Normally a little bit more reliable than that, but we've missed a penalty. I mean, should have won it. Should have won it. Simple as that. Why do we still not have any brilliant penalty takers? Gonzalez, Godoy, Shalnan. I'm actually going to put Ramirez beforehand just because he's got better actual finishing. Well, of course, I have no real idea when I'm going to bring you back again just because Champions League... Well, basically, same as it was last year. Champions Cup group stages, whichever match lines up with the biggest opponent in that group. Because I've just realised before all 3 Champions League group stage matches, we play either Chelsea, Manchester United or Tottenham. For the first time, I feel like I get to say thank you, scheduling gods, because it means guaranteed I have another big match alongside whoever ends up being the biggest opponent in our Champions League group stage. I'll bring you back for that. Until then, ta-ra.